So before this video starts, I want to give a shout out to Sleek Supply Co. who is sponsoring this video. They have some really great, simplistic, good looking, good quality watches for sale on their website. It can be found in the description, along with a 20% off discount code that they're offering myself and you guys for any of their watches. I already ordered one. I'm super excited for it to come. I'm a big fan of watches to begin with. And we'll go ahead and get in the video. Hope you guys enjoy. After I made a video on the Saab Aero X concept, I got a lot of comments saying, hey, what about the Saab PhoeniX concept that they made a couple years ago? Can you tell us some more about that? What do you know about that? You should make a video on that. So I decided, you know what, why not? I'm going to make a video on the Saab PhoeniX concept. So the PhoeniX concept is not a new concept car. It debuted in 2011 actually. So it was designed by a guy named Jason Castroida, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, I apologize if I'm not, but he was a former designer for Ferrari, and he called the design of the PhoeniX, quote, aeromotional, whatever that means. So let's go over some of the styling features of the PhoeniX. So it has a big Saab logo on the front with some really beautiful LED lights. It's got an aggressive hood on it, it's got the gull wing doors, and it also has the weirdest thing that I think and coolest thing is these wing-looking designs on the top of each door, which they said were supposed to direct air over the car and help with high-speed stability. So basically provide downforce, but downforce in Saab's own quirky and weird way. The taillights are definitely my least favorite part about the styling. Apparently it was supposed to pay homage to the Sonic Coupe that Saab once made years ago, and in all honesty, they look like they're off of an old Pontiac Firebird. It doesn't really look modern, it just looks sort of out of place in my opinion. It also has a really cool logo implementation on the back where the Saab plane is integrated as a brake light. I know the Dodge Viper also does something like that, which I personally think is a little bit corny, but you know, it's Saab, so you know, it's cool. It's okay for them to do that. It's also got center exiting exhaust, which looks similar to the Aero X concept. 20-inch turbine styled wheels, which beautiful as well. I don't like them as much as the Aero X wheels, but they do still look very nice. So inside it has a 2x2 layout, which means 2 seats in the front, 2 seats in the back, 2-door coupe. So it's got some red accent lighting. It had an Android powered infotainment system, and probably my favorite part of the interior is the racing-like steering wheel with the Saab plane logo in the center. That's definitely cool. So of course, as you can see by looking at the car, it's really aggressive and futuristic, and that's exactly what it was meant to be. So now let's go ahead and move into the engine and drivetrain of this car. So it featured Saab's new all-wheel drive system called all-wheel drive. So it's a hybrid, and what you'll notice as I talk about this more, and this is what I noticed as I read more about it, is that it's very, very similar to the BMW i8. So it has a gas engine powering the front wheels and an electric motor powering the rear wheels. So the gas motor is a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline-4 from BMW, and that makes about 200 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. So it had technology such as variable valve timing and lift control, and it came with a 6-speed manual. A 6-speed manual, that's pretty freaking cool. It also had an overboost function, which provided another 15 foot-pound of torque. So following that up, powering the rear wheels was a 34 horsepower electric motor, which gave the car a total of 234 horsepower. So again, you can see how it's even less powerful than the BMW i8, but it's clearly not a car that was meant to be fast. It was meant to show off technology and show off what Saab as a brand could do, sort of like what BMW did with the i8. I mean, at least that's how I see that car. And they tested it to average 56.5 miles per gallon, which is pretty impressive. So it did come with 3 different drive modes: Eco, Sport, and Traction. So Eco obviously is going to give you the best fuel economy. It's going to maximize the electric motors and try and use the gasoline motors as little as possible. And then Sport is going to use the maximum performance and power from both motors to give you the best performance, obviously. And then Traction is optimal for grip, for slippery or bad weather. Now this isn't a mode that I've seen in any other car before, traction mode, or anything that functions like a traction mode. So it's basically just a glorified traction control, and I really like how they did this because it kind of shows Saab's Swedish roots here, that, you know, cold weather up there, it snows a lot, you're gonna need really good traction in order to drive it year round. So I think that they kind of threw that in there just to hint at their Swedish heritage. So one article said that this PhoeniX concept would be riding on the platform for the next generation 9.3. So from what I understand is that means that the future 9.3s would pretty much have that same BMW engine and electric motors. So it would basically be a hybrid system. So I'm not really sure what that means. I don't know if that means that the new 9.3s would have both that BMW engine and the electric motors, or if it would just share the same chassis. If it did have that BMW engine and the electric motors, that would definitely be the first hybrid system that we would really see in a car in that class. I mean, obviously you have the Prius and other hybrids, but in a sports sedan segment where you're competing with BMW, Mercedes, Audi, none of those companies really had a hybrid sports sedan. So just to say once again that the PhoeniX was just a concept car, they did not have any plans to put it into production. So it was really just made to showcase what Saab could do and what they wanted to do in the future as a brand. So overall, I do really like the car. I just really cannot stand the taillights. That's the only thing that I don't like about it. But it is a beautiful car. I love the unique Saab quirkiness that they did still incorporate into it. And you know, it's just a cool car. I mean, there's no other words for it. Again, in my mind, it is underpowered, but I do think that is because, well, one, it was just a concept, so really the engine was more of showcasing what they would use in future cars, not if they actually had built that, because I do think it does sort of fit into that BMW i8 category. That's just my opinion though. Let me know what your opinion is on the PhoeniX concept down below in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have more questions about it, ask away in the comments. I'll certainly be happy to answer them the best that I can. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all next video.
From you.